So there's once a man that, like many of us, had a problem with a certain part of his Seder. Every year he would go and he would open the door for Elijah. He'd pour the glass of wine and he would wait. But it didn't seem like anyone was coming, and quite honestly, he wasn't even sure that Elijah really existed. So finally the man decided he would go ask his rabbi. And he goes and he says, "Rabbi, do you have any proof that Elijah even exists?" So Rabbi thinks for a minute and says, "Okay, I want you to take a box of food for Passover and a box of clothing, and I want you to go to this address right outside of town." The man was a little confused, but it's his rabbi, so he said, "Okay." He got the box of food and the box of clothing, and he put the boxes into his car, and he drove all the way to the outskirts of town, where he got to a house that was just slightly run down. The weeds were longer than they should have been. It was clear that though loved as a home, it wasn't quite cared for the way it should have been. He walks up with the boxes and he puts them at the front door. And as he places them down, he's looking all around. He sees Elijah nowhere. And suddenly he hears boys screaming on the inside of the house. And then their mom yells, "Boys, enough. Stop screaming, stop yelling, stop fighting. Come and help me prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow night is Seder, and we don't even have enough food for our table yet. There is no point in fighting. Please come help your mother." It's really upset the man, hearing that these people didn't have food for Seder. But though that mattered, he went back to his thought. Where is Elijah? And he kept looking around. Looked on the side of the house, the other side of the house, no Elijah. He remembered that his rabbi had actually mentioned, place the boxes next to the door and leave them. So got back in his car and he drove home. Next night was Seder, and again, he opened the door for Elijah. Nothing. Looked in the cup, still just as full. So what was going on? The next morning, he goes back to the rabbi. "Rabbi, I brought the boxes. I didn't see Elijah at the home. I didn't see Elijah at my Seder last night. What's going on? I thought you were going to prove to me that Elijah exists. Show me Elijah. I want to meet Elijah." The rabbi stops for a moment and says, "Go back to the house today. In fact, get in your car and go right now." So the man is confused. "I already went to the house. But okay, I trust my rabbi. I'm going to go back to the house." Goes back to the house. He looks all around. Still no sign of Elijah. This time he walks a couple houses over on each side. Tries to make sure that maybe it was a neighborhood search that he really had to do. But nope. He decides, you know what? I'm just going to go knock on the door of the address. And maybe they know where Elijah is. Maybe that's why the rabbi sent me there. And right as he goes to knock on the door, he hears the mom yell again. "Boys, come down and help me set the table again. We have been so fortunate. We have been so lucky. Elijah brought gifts from God. We had food last night for Seder and food for tonight. New clothing so that we could feel special and clean and lovely during this holiday time. We are so fortunate. Let's make sure we celebrate together right." The man was shocked. Did the woman think that he was Elijah? He had brought the clothes and food, but she said that Elijah, the prophet of God, brought the clothes. He has to go back and tell his rabbi about this. So he jumps in the car, he drives all the way back, and he tells the rabbi, "Rabbi, you won't believe it. The woman thinks that I'm Elijah." And the rabbi chuckles. He says, "Well, how do you feel knowing that you've enhanced their lives? You've given them what they needed at this holiday time?" And the man stopped, and it all hit him at once. Elijah didn't need to be one specific spirit. Elijah wasn't just a person or a prophet. Elijah was the presence of others in our lives. You see, when we are open to receiving love and kindness, and when we have the ability to give that love and kindness to others, that's what brings Elijah into our home. At Passover, we're told to make sure that all who need somewhere to eat have a place to go, and everyone has the things they need to celebrate. Now that That mission is a very powerful and divine thing indeed. Shabbat Shalom.